Hey everybody, what's up from Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Guys, it's here. It's approaching. The tsunami is coming, the stars have aligned, all of the factors are in place for 2021 to prove to be one of the greatest periods of Pokemon growth that we've ever seen. Perhaps even more so than 2020. Now, I want to throw out this disclaimer, this is not financial advice, these are just merely one-person speculations and forecasting of what I see in the future for the market. Now, I do have some pretty good reasons to back this up, and time could prove me wrong, but I thought I would share this information with you guys and some of the news and some of the undertones that I see developing. And in a couple months, we'll see whether I'm right. I could be entirely wrong. It certainly wouldn't be the first time, but I think one thing could be said, and that's it's a very exciting time to be actively involved in the hobby. So I look forward to seeing how this plays out. Anyway, let's take a look back so that we can take a look forward. Now, 2020 was a year of record growth and exposure for Pokemon, the likes of which I have really never seen before. With record prices coming in through October through December, it seemed like the sky really was the limit for Pokemon. Now, we also have to acknowledge that this was followed up by a little bit of a retrace. And when I say a little bit, it was actually pretty extensive on some cards. Entire YouTube channels and videos were published talking about the market bubble, the card market collapsing entirely, panic selling, and I don't buy into that panic. Now, you could be bearish on Pokemon, you could be bullish on Pokemon, and I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, that certain cards are going to appreciate more over time, and other cards are going to see a supply surplus hit and then devalue the cards moving forward. In the case of what I'm seeing right now, though, it's a lot of short-term hype and interest that I could see massively fueling the next major boom for Pokemon. With the combination of another round of economic stimulus on the horizon, another Logan Paul box break with massive media attention, and then of course the 25th anniversary of Pokemon picking up steam and momentum, all bets are off. I think we have the perfect storm of brewing here for some massive growth in the hobby. In short, I think we're looking at the perfect storm, and it's drawing nearer by the day. While I'm hesitant to attribute too much influence to just one individual, the impact that Logan Paul has had on the Pokemon market really can't be understated. Just a few months ago during Logan Paul's first unboxing, that video generated over 11 million views in just a few months and sent prices and interest skyrocketing to new levels that we've never seen before. Now when Logan introduces another unboxing and casually announces that he spent over $2 million acquiring not just one first edition box, but 6 of them, that's an entirely different ballpark. That's an entirely different game. And so I think it's fair to say that we're going to see a sudden interest spread across the internet, much like we did the first time back in October. As of now, the plan is to auction off those packs through Golden Auctions for another live box opening in late February. Now, this date coincides with Pokemon Day on February 27th, and I think it's likely that we'll see some other announcements from Pokemon and Nintendo that could further fuel the hype that we're seeing with the box opening. Nevertheless, I think it's fair to say that interest is going to be at an all-time high. The second variable in this equation is economic stimulus checks. Now, back in January, there was an economic stimulus package passed, and that included $600 checks for various working Americans. What we're looking at now, though, is the promise and likelihood of a $1,400 stimulus check as a follow-up. This is a pretty substantial amount of money and will rival that which we saw last year. Now, right around the time that first check was issued last year, that's when the major collectibles boom seemed to happen. Maybe it's correlation, maybe it's causation, I don't think we can determine that for sure. But one thing that I do think we should keep an eye on is where all that money is going to go. When individuals have additional discretionary income, they're going to put that into something, whether it's bills, savings, or for those that maybe aren't struggling financially, into hobbies that they enjoy. Hobbies like Pokemon. In fact, looking at graphs from last year's economic stimulus shows a pretty strong correlation with prices. We can see this most evident in the low to mid-range collectibles, which really appeal to the majority of collectors. Cards that are PSA graded in the 9 or 8 category saw some of the greatest growth. Now, we did also see a massive increase in some of the higher end cards like trophy cards, Charizards, PSA 10 First Edition Vintage. Once again, it comes down to discretionary income. If you give individuals extra money, that money has to go somewhere, and I think it stands to reason that some of it might make its way back into the Pokemon market, especially when you consider the 25th anniversary, the Logan Paul box break, and all the other additional media attention and hype that Pokemon is likely to receive in the next month or two. Speaking of a heightened interest, this brings us to the third factor, the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Now, in one of my previous videos, I talked about how the 25th anniversary was likely to bring about new releases, new games, new cards, and just generate a whole lot of interest amongst the Pokemon franchise. Nintendo is not the type of company to lay dormant and let this type of opportunity pass. We're beginning to see some of those announcements, even though it's still early in the year, with such things as exclusive products like skateboards, exclusive releases of cards, including a cool reprinting of some mega cards. Even Katy Perry's gotten in on the action, being announced as a guest celebrity musician working with Pokemon. Why? I don't really know, but we'll see what happens with that. And even Pokemon Snap is releasing an updated version of the game. So, with all these little factors tying into different aspects of the hobby and the Pokemon franchise as a whole, that's going to stir up some synergy amongst the entire franchise, pulling people into the trading card game. Now, this certainly applies to the card game, as there's been speculation of set releases and perhaps a reprint of some of the Neo series, which is something that I'm really hoping for personally. But already there have been some announcements related to the card game. This is already being seen with the card game, as they announced a release of all the different generation starters and a special reprinting on large jumbo cards. Should be pretty cool. In addition to that, places like PWCC, a consignment service for eBay, have also announced their 25th anniversary event, coming this February, almost perfectly coinciding with the Logan Paul box break and with Pokemon Day. In this auction, they're going to feature a number of Pokemon cards, including some really hot ticket items, like one of the first Pikachu Illustrator cards for sale publicly at auction in years. It's going to draw a lot of interest, a lot of attention, and I know I personally look forward to seeing how that plays out. So just to reiterate, we have a new Logan Paul box break on Pokemon Day. We have economic stimulus checks likely coming out in the next month or two, and we have announcements and new products from the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. These are some pretty massive factors, but wait, there's more. At least in the short term, I find that there are several other reasons to be extremely bullish on Pokemon right now, but that's just my personal opinion. One reason I'm feeling bullish about Pokemon is congressional action. Now, Congress gets the reputation for gridlock, probably justifiably. It's something we all have experienced here in the United States. However, now that one party is in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, it seems likely that legislation will be passed much more quickly. And in fact, it's already been speculated that a new stimulus package and economic recovery plan will be put in place by the end of March. In addition to this, there's still a major supply shortage of cards from grading companies like PSA. The bottleneck still exists as different grading companies are trying to fulfill back orders and are massively behind schedule. This limitation of supply is another reason why I think the market is going to see a massive surge. Nowhere is this supply crunch more evident than in modern product, as boxes and individual cards are selling for ridiculous prices that no one really could have predicted before. And if that's any indicator for the rest of the market, I think we're going to see a massive surge with vintage products, with promotional items, with Japanese cards. I think it'll be one of those situations where a rising tide lifts all boats, and every aspect of the market benefits from these new conditions. Lastly, and most importantly, hype is building. All of these factors play into the market, raising demand, consumer confidence, and the desirability of all of these products. With new cards being released, new games being announced, limited edition products, and all of those already seeing massive attention and interest from collectors and people in the community at large, those are factors that you really can't quantify. However, if I'm looking at them, I think all the factors are in place. to see a massive tsunami of growth in Pokemon. Earlier in this video, I called that tsunami the perfect storm for Pokemon in 2021. Now, as these factors come more into focus and draw closer, I think we're in for some major market shifts for the Pokemon industry. Anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts and opinions on Pokemon in 2021. What are your thoughts and opinions? Leave them down in the comments below. What do you think will be the end outcome of Logan Paul's box break? Or what do you think is in store with the 25th anniversary of Pokemon? These are some important questions. I know for myself, one thing I can say for certain is it's a very exciting time to be a part of the hobby. And I look forward to seeing how all this plays out. Anyway, guys, I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you with the next video. Bye, everybody.